After affirming his power, Zeus falls in love with Titaness Metis, the goddess of prudence and wisdom. She tried to circumvent the advances of Zeus using all the means she could. Given that she had the power of metamorphosis, the goddess was able to transform herself into several animals to lose the great god. But Metis would not be capable of escaping Zeus forever. The god grabs her and turns her into his wife. She quickly gets pregnant and certainly would give birth to a wonderful divinity. However, the Oracle of Gaia lets Zeus know that the goddess will give birth to 2 children. The first will be a girl that will match her father in strength and sapience. The second will be a boy that will be even stronger than his father and will take the power from him. Zeus dreads the possibility of facing the same fate of his father Titan Cronus, or of his grandfather the god Uranus, who were both dethroned by their sons, and, inspired by his father, Zeus asks to have Metis transformed into a drop of water, and so he swallows his pregnant wife, never giving her the chance to give birth. After swallowing his wife, Zeus starts to embody the gifts of goddess Metis. He is now a much more wise, fair, and less impulsive god. Time moves on and the powerful god starts to feel unbearable headaches. His head starts to grow in a frightening way. Zeus orders someone to open his head and remove the cause of such pain. Hephaestus, the god of the forges, uses an axe to open a fissure in the head of Zeus. From the god's hole in the head emerges Athena, with her armor and weapons, already a full-grown adult. Zeus is proud to give birth to such a remarkable creature who, because she had the intelligence of her mother, will become the goddess of wisdom. She will also be regarded as the goddess of defensive wars, and, therefore, the clashes against Ares, the god of war, would be inevitable. Metis stays in Zeus's stomach, and so the prophecy of the couple's second son would never be fulfilled. Athena will present herself as a valiant, pure, fair, and sapient goddess, and so she will be regarded as Zeus's favorite daughter, and many will deem her as the rightful heiress to Zeus.
There was an ancient region in Greece, known today as Attica. Cecrops was its ruler, a being that was born of the land itself, having a serpent tail and the torso of a man. The city of Cecropia flourished under his rule. It was surrounded by the seas, and so the cult of Poseidon was quite strong in the region. The god felt the need to have a city devoted to his glorification. He visited the city's Acropolis, and there, before the king and his people, he proclaimed, "Devote this city to the Lord of the seas, and you will have the ocean as your backyard. Your people will subjugate all others on the sea. Change the name of the city to Poseidonia, and you will make me extremely happy." The god hit the ground with his trident and originated a spring of salt water. "This is my gift to you. Before you set sail, do kneel before the spring, and it will tell if it is safe to navigate." All of a sudden, Athena, the goddess of wisdom, appeared, and she also had the ambition to conquer for herself the honor of having a city that worshipped her. She spoke to the crowd, already stunned by Poseidon's visitation, and now perplexed for having the opportunity to witness such a majestic deity.
"People of Cecropia, if you choose me as the city's protector, beauty and wisdom will bear fruit in it. Art and science will flourish with no equivalent in the whole world."
The goddess stuck her spear in the ground, and from the hole, a beautiful olive tree was born.
"This is my gift. I know how arid the land that surrounds you is, but with this plant you can have food from its fruits, and you can also use its oil to light and warm your homes."
The people were amazed by such a gift. Cecrop dreaded the possibility of enraging the neglected god, though it was fair to let the city choose the right one they wanted to worship. Men lived off the sea, and, therefore, they all voted for Poseidon. On the other hand, women lived on the land, and so they regarded Athena's gifts as more valuable. Since there were more women than men in the city, Athena won. Poseidon got furious and did not accept the crowd's decision. "There's only one honored way to decide this. Pick up your weapons and fight me." Poseidon was one of the most powerful gods, and so he believed that Athena was no match for him. But the brave goddess felt no fear in her heart and got readied for the clash. But when the battle was about to begin, Zeus intervened to mediate the dispute.
I will take this clash to the divine council of the Olympus, and they will decide the fate of the city.
At Mount Olympus, the gods reunited to solve the clash between Athena and Poseidon. Zeus presided over the meeting and let the other gods find a consensus. All male gods voted for Poseidon and all goddesses voted for Athena. Since he was presiding it, Zeus abstained from the suffrage, and so Athena won by just one vote. The ancient city of Syncopria is now known as Athens. In honor of the goddess, a beautiful temple in her honor was built at the top of the Acropolis. However, Poseidon's wrath made the Athenians' life much harder, since they were no longer welcome in the seas. Worried, they met the oracle of Delphi. The Typhon informed that Poseidon's wrath would only be stopped if the women of Athens were punished. To be reconciled with the god, all the women of Athens were punished, and they no longer had the right to vote. To establish peace between the Athenians and Poseidon, a beautiful temple honoring the god was built on Cape Saunion. The god showed his magnanimous character and forgave the people of Athens, allowing the city to keep the god's gift. Hence emerged in Greece the city that would stand out among all others.
Medusa, the woman with snakes in place of hair, is probably one of the most well-known creatures in Greek mythology. However, she was not always like that. Daughter of Phorcys and Ceto, two primordial deities of the sea, Medusa was born with incredible beauty. The young woman snatched hearts wherever she went. Yet, despite her seductive appearance, Medusa was chaste and pure. And because she admired the goddess Athena, she decided to become a priestess of the temple dedicated to Athena. Virginity and chastity were indispensable requirements for this position. Medusa was a perfect priestess, perhaps too perfect even. Because she was so beautiful, the number of visitors who went to the temple just to admire her grew every day. That made the goddess Athena very jealous. For having the most beautiful hair in all of Greece, one day a citizen dared to say that her hair would be prettier than the hair of the goddess Athena. Although hurt and enraged, Athena did not take revenge. Nevertheless, one day, when the shore was near, Medusa was spotted by Poseidon, god of the seas. He fell in love with the girl right away, yet she resisted the constant flirtations of the god. Poseidon had a personal feud with the goddess Athena, and so owning her priestess became an obsession. Tired of being rejected, the god decided to possess her by force. Desperate, Medusa runs into the temple of Athena in pursuit of protection. Poseidon enters behind her, grabs the young woman, and rapes her on the floor in front of the goddess statue. After the violence ended, the goddess appears enraged, and she decides to cruelly punish her priestess. For the goddess to punish Poseidon was out of the question, since she considered that his act was of the male entity's nature. But she considered Medusa guilty of seducing the god and bringing dishonor to the temple and the goddess. Athena curses the young woman, turning her beautiful hair into snakes, and from this day forward, anyone who looks into her eyes would instantly petrify. Medusa was now chased by a warrior who wished for her head as a trophy, yet they were all turned into stone. The hero Perseus finally was able to decapitate the creature. What no one knew was that Medusa was carrying Poseidon's child, and with her death, from her shed blood, was born the giant Chrysaor and the Pegasus horse.
In the city of Solophon, in the region of Lydia, there was a young girl named Arachne. She was the daughter of a weaver, and because of that, she soon learned the art of weaving. As years went by, Arachne kept developing her skills until she reached a plateau of excellence, where her embroidered work was compared to the most beautiful of arts. Her reputation was disseminated, and noblemen from distant regions ordered pieces from her. Her fame grew so much that even the nymphs left their woods to contemplate the embroidered work of Arachne.
How beautiful your broidered is. This can only be a gift from Athena, the protector of the weavers. This is not a gift from Athena. All the merit from this work is only mine, and I do believe that my embroidered work is even better than the ones of the goddess.
The news of a weaver who claimed to be better than Athena soon reached Olympus. The goddess decided to disguise herself as an old lady and checked this reckless girl who considered herself to be above the gods. Approaching the studio of Arachne, Athena perceived that the young girl really had an impressive talent to weave. Athena decided to give her advice.
Young girl of mine, you are deeply talented, but perhaps due to your young age, you still have a lot to learn when it comes to being humble. You are certainly the most skillful among the mortal beings, but comparing yourself to a goddess is far from wise. I'm not arrogant. I'm aware of my potential, and for that, when I claim that my embroidered work is better than the one of Athena, I'm just affirming the purest of truths. You think you're better than a goddess, isn't that so? So let's see that.
Arachne and Athena started a competition to see who would be the one capable of producing the best embroidered work. The nymphs were called to be the judges of the clash. Athena, bragging about her feats, weaved a depiction of her victory against Poseidon in the clash for Athens. Meanwhile, Arachne was broidering the image of the kidnap of Princess Europa perpetrated by Zeus, who became a white bull to deceive her. Her work was clearly a display of sarcasm against the gods, who used their powers to stay ahead of men. Despite the powerful criticism of the gods contained in Arachne's embroidered work, the fact that it was brilliant and better than Athena's was unquestionable. Confronted with Arachne's work, Athena felt outraged with the insults made by the gods, but her wrath became even bigger after noticing that she had been defeated by a reckless mortal being. The goddess destroyed the rival's work and hit her in the head with the weaving needle. Finally, she decided to curse the proud girl.
From this day on, you will be a horrible and repulsive creature, as so will your offspring.
Arachne became a spider. However, she did not stop knitting, and with her 8 legs, it appeared that her work was even better. Athena, seeing her newest works, said,
Damn her. She is good indeed.